Okay, you're going to see midpoint questions like we did in 2 dimensions, where they're going to give you a endpoint and the midpoint. You just need to find the other endpoint. Okay, so in this example, we need to find a missing endpoint when they give us a endpoint 7, 1, 4, and a midpoint, which is -3, -5, and 10. Okay, I labeled them, color code them just to make it easier for me. I forgot the Z right here. I'll do that right now. Boom, there we go. So again, the setup goes like this. I'm going to put E1 here, my midpoint, and then what I'm looking for, E2. I'm going to try to figure out how much I have to move to from E1 to the midpoint, then apply that again from the midpoint to the other endpoint that I'm trying to look for. So if you look right here, let's take a look at specifically the X variable. I'm taking 7 from my E1 and my midpoint, -3. I read that down right here. Where I start, where I'm going to go, then I'm going to repeat that process again to find the other endpoint. Well, how do I go from 7 to -3? On the side right here, I take -3 minus 7, essentially where I end minus where I start. I can figure out my change, okay, my difference. Here, I'm minusing 10. So I just need to repeat that again, but from the midpoint, I'm going to minus 10. So -3 minus 10, I'm going to get -13. So that's the X value or component to my other endpoint. I'm going to repeat that process again for the Y variable and Z variable. So -5 minus 1, I'm going to minus 6. So I'm traveling -6 for my Y component. I'm going to apply that again for my midpoint. So I'm going to do -5. Start here, apply the -6, and I should get to -11. So minus 6, and I do. Repeat that process again for the third dimension. We start at 4, and I'm going to get to 10. If you can recognize, we're just going to add 10, or add 6. That's great. If you don't, again, our destination minus where we start. 10 minus 4, that tells us our difference or our change, okay? So I'm adding 6, so start at 10, my midpoint, go and add 6, and I'll find my other endpoint. So 10 plus 6, 16. So the other endpoint on this line segment that I needed to find is -13, -11, and 16. If you have any questions, raise your hand. We'll come by and we'll clarify. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.